Hey everyone, it's Matt with EquiPredict Analytics. Thanks for watching. In this video, we're going to be going over an update for SQQQ. That's the NASDAQ triple inverse leveraged ETF, and we're going to be operating on a daily basis for this particular forecast. And again, if you're enjoying some of the content we're providing here, please do subscribe to the channel. You should also head over to the website EquiPredict.com. We just posted up a blue wave forecast that we're going to be sharing in this video for the NASDAQ in a moment, but we updated a forecast for the S&P 500 over at the website EquiPredict.com. So definitely check that out. So up on the screen, we're going to be, again, as I mentioned, going using the daily chart of SQQQ. One thing to point out here is that we're going to be starting with a forecast that was done back in February. We did one actually previously. It didn't work out that well going into, I think it was December. But this particular one, we've updated some data and really honed in on some of the information that we're using for the forecast. So this one is likely to be a lot more reliable. So this is, again, as I mentioned, this is a forecast that was done in February. Everything that you see here, we're just going to reveal in just a minute, but we put a shade over the current price action up from February until today, which is the 24th of April. And this is using the data that's ending here on the 20th or so of February. And the forecast at that time said that basically, if you're new to the EquiPredict model, what the forecasting line does is forecasts bias for the underlying security. It does not measure the magnitude of the move of the particular equity that you're measuring. And so what I mean by that is that this particular line here, this says that the bias would be bullish in SQQ, which is obviously bearish for the market. For the NASDAQ, would be until around this time, April 18th, 19th, or 20th, that we should see some lift in the share price of SQQ going into that time. And this is how it actually panned out. So I'll show you in just a second. There it is. So this said that basically, as you can see, that the forecast worked out. It's not perfect, but it worked out decently well, that if you ended up taking up shares here on the 20th, you obviously had a nice spike and a sell-off. The volume was very, very high, indicating a lot of shares exchanged right here, likely indicating that was a sort of a blow-off top for SQQQ and likely intermediate term support for the NASDAQ for the time being. And at this time, the old forecast, again, we're looking at the old one going from the 20th of April down into June. And so we used the current data, the updated data, which I'll overlay on this before we get to the blue wave forecast in just a second. All right, and so this is the updated data using the data up to today. So what it's saying is it's using all this data that it gathered from the 20th and obviously before it, but also after that up until today's date, and it forecasts essentially the same thing as the old one now, but what we're seeing is a potential for, once we get going into the month of May, potential rise in SQQ for a short period of time, and then a fall into the first week of June. The first week of June is when you should expect to look for bullish bias to start setting in for SQQ. That would indicate obviously bearish bias for the entire stock market, or for the NASDAQ, I should say. But you should be looking for bullish bias to really step in earnest sometime in early June. So for the time being, that forecast says that essentially it's not time to really get too serious with SQQ. Start looking at your indicators. One of the things that we did notice with the MFI indicator, which is the money flow index indicator, is that it just recently broke down. So if you see the price action hasn't followed through yet, price action is not really broken down further than about $3.22 a share, about $33 a share in SQQ, but the money flow index indicator below, which is taking into consideration some volume measurements as well, has broken down below into around 34.40 at this particular point. So this, if you look at one of our prior videos I just did yesterday, and taking your signals from the indicators and your triggers from the entry, from the price action, you're going to see that this is a signal, a bear signal or a sell signal for SQQQ, which would be, again, a buy signal for something like QQQ, for example. So just be cognizant of that this has broken down the MFI index with a period setting of 11, and that the price action hasn't followed through yet, but if it does, it indicates more downside ahead for SQQQ. So just something to keep in mind. So we're going to turn off the old forecast, and I'm going to show you guys just the blue wave forecast. If you're newer to the model, the blue wave forecasts carry with them a higher probability for outcome, and this is kind of a real critical forecast, is that essentially what this says is that from around the 17th, 18th, or 19th of May, all the way until around the 10th, 11th, or 12th of June, the SQQQ is likely to fall in price. So if you are considering a short-term trade in SQQQ very soon, maybe you want to, the gray area should be disregarded, by the way. You could look for that, but I would not be taking on a long position in SQQQ, meaning shorting the markets, the NASDAQ, after May 17th and again, I wouldn't really give it much consideration until sort of after that first week of June, according to the forecast. So I hope that helps you in your trading journey with SQQQ. Do be careful with that security. I think the larger term cycle that's not shown here is down for the longer term, but these short sort of dead cat bounces in the market could provide opportunities to go long in SQQQ going forward. I just don't think we're there yet. So hope that helps, and good luck and good trading.